Hey guys, it's Mel. Welcome back to my channel. First up, I don't think I can go without acknowledging the support and the love I felt after my last video. If you missed it, you can go watch it. You'll understand a little bit more about what this particular video is about. Thank you again. I really appreciate everybody's kind messages, and yeah, let's move on. So in the last one, I did express that I was feeling like a little bit bad that I hadn't been able to come in here and share all my plans and goals for the year. So I thought, what better way to kick off my videos than to actually tell you what some of my goals and plans are for the 2023 year that I plan to take by storm. But in saying that, I don't actually want to create too many goals for myself at the moment, because there's a lot of changes that are going to be happening in my life over the next 6 months, and not only changes but challenges. So I really don't want to set myself a whole lot of goals that are unachievable, because that's just going to make me feel like absolute crap if I don't meet all of those goals. Because life's going to throw me a lot of lemons, and I think I have to give myself a little bit of grace during this period. Okay, so I suspect one of the biggest questions people are going to have for me is, what am I going to do with my eBay shed? What am I going to do with my eBay business? Where am I going to take it? Where am I going to move it? When I move out of my house, I'm going to have to go to a rental property. So I've thought about this a lot, and I've thought about it hard. Do I want to take this business, which is currently sitting at about 4,500 listings, to a rental property and put it into somebody else's garage and be working from home? I don't think I want to do that. The problem when you go into a rental property is it's not really that secure, is it? Over here in Australia, we will sign like a 12-month lease on that house property. At the end of that 12 months, they might decide they don't want you to keep renting. They might decide they want to sell the house. You just don't really have so much security to know how long you're going to be able to stay in that one property. And quite frankly, moving this amount of books is hard work. And I don't want to move and then in 12 months' time, something happened and I can't stay in that particular property that I go to, and I have to move all the books again. Oh my goodness, can you imagine? Not only that, because I need to increase my income, I actually need to increase the listings. So this business is currently sitting at about 4,500 listings for my books. I reckon I'm going to need a 10,000 listing store to be able to survive how I need to be. I've really enjoyed working from home and having this shed in my backyard. But for this particular situation at the moment, I don't feel comfortable with doing that. So what I've actually done is I have actually outsourced a new location to be able to take my books to. It is like a small warehouse, and it is about double the size of what I've got currently here in this shed. So it's not huge, it's not fancy. In fact, it's pretty run down and average. Don't know how pretty it'll be in my videos. But it's cheap. I think it's a good solution for the time being. There is some cons to go with it. I'll probably talk about those later in another video where I take you down and I show you where I've actually got. But I do feel quite comfortable in the decision that this is probably the best place for me to move the books to at the moment. That location should become available for me to move into by maybe mid-February, but it could go on a little bit longer. It just depends on a few other situations and when the other person can move out. Packing up this amount of books, I'm dreading it. I'm really dreading it. I'm going to need a lot of boxes because the books are heavy. Obviously, I can't put a whole shelf in one box. Just too heavy, won't be able to move it. Every single shelf is going to need multiple boxes. I suspect it might take me 2 full days even just to pack the shed before we move it. That's going to be challenging, exciting, fun, scary. Now, one of my goals this year is to actually get some hired help. Now, it's not something I'm looking at just yet. I want to be able to move. I want to be able to get settled into my new space so that I can get somebody out there who's actually working within that space. I don't want to do anything virtual. I want to get somebody that I can come in and train and help me take photos, help me pick my orders, help me list items. So that won't be a full-timer. It'll just be somebody who can come in a couple of days a week and give me a hand. And I think that will really just take some pressure off me, and really help me to be able to grow this business to where I need it to be able to grow to make the amount of money that I need it to make. It's always a catch-22, isn't it? I'd like to be able to look at what systems aren't working in this shed currently, so that I can fix them when they go over to the new warehouse. And one of the biggest issues I've got at the moment is probably just the space in general, like bringing in the unlisted inventory. I haven't found the right system for my unlisted inventory. I've got a couple of ideas in my head that I'm hoping will work in the new space. I'd quite like to introduce selling some like other types of media into my store. I really want to keep my niche as niched as possible, but I think selling all forms of media works really well for a bookstore, because I don't have to change my photography setup, my SKU setup, or my inventory setup, nothing. Like if I sell books, CDs, and some DVDs, nothing really has to change in my systems and my processes. So I have been talking about that for a while. It is something that I'm looking at, but primarily I will still be nearly all books, with just maybe like a little sprinkling of some media thrown in there. I mean, if I'm outsourcing books, I may as well look for some additional media while I'm there as well. So this year, another thing I need to look at is getting some like more bulk suppliers. Like I've got a couple of them, but I really need more, because when you start adding 400 plus items into your bookstore a week, and it's not even 400 books, because I put a lot of bundles into my store. So it's more than 400 books every single week. And trying to source that many, you don't want to be going to the shops and just pulling out 2 or 3 books from each store. Every time I go out, I want to be bringing home a carload of them. So trying to look for some bigger suppliers who can supply me on a regular basis with like big lots of books or CDs. That is a goal for me this year. Okay, now YouTube goals. Now, last year I failed my YouTube goals miserably. The beginning of the year, I was set the challenge by Chris at Daily Refinement to do 3 videos a week. Well, that didn't last long. I think I made it to about March, got COVID. That was it. I actually found 3 videos a week really, really hard. It's hard to think of different topics for you all. It's hard to make 3 videos a week on top of running your eBay store. So this year for YouTube, it's all about the consistency for me. Last year I was 3 videos, 2 videos, 1 video, 0 videos. This year it's going to be consistent. I want 2 videos every single week without fail. If I can add in a 3rd one every now and then for you guys, fantastic. But what I really want is that consistent 2 videos a week. So that's what you can expect. I would say one of my biggest goals this year is to just my mental health as well. Like this is the most challenging year I've probably ever had. There's going to be times when I'm sad, tired, exhausted, both physically and mentally. Like I have to be on top of my mental health this year, because otherwise I'm going to be like a crying ball of mess. I'll be like rocking like this. I can't do it on the shed floor yet. I'll be rocking in the fetal position if I don't keep in tune with my mental health. I know I'm laughing a little bit there, but honest to God, my mental health has to be my top priority this year, because I know the type of person I am. And I know that when I get overwhelmed, I go into like a task paralysis. I can't do anything. It's like, it's not that I'm lazy, but I find it really hard if I'm overwhelmed to be motivated and productive and actually get my stuff done. I literally go into this like paralysis mode where I don't function and I can't really do anything. And it's because there's so much going on in my brain that it's like my brain and my body and everything kind of shuts down to stop it from getting more stress and more anxiety in my life. It's like my body knows and it shuts and I can't do anything. And then I'm thinking to myself, am I being lazy? But I'm not being lazy. It's just when I'm overwhelmed, that motivation and that overwhelm is really, really hard. So my goal is to be eating really clean and to be walking and exercising on a daily basis. Now, I've been doing this for the last few months and it has helped me immensely. I go out for a walk every single day for a minimum of an hour. If I can go out in the morning first thing, that's my preference. I go out in the morning and I do 10,000 steps before I even start my day. And that clears my head, it sets me up. I feel great all day. I also don't feel like binging on junk food once I've already done some exercise in the morning. I'm just eating nice, fresh foods, clean, healthy, and I feel so much better. So my goal is to continue that through the year. I kind of feel like I've already made that a habit because I've been doing it for a few months. If I don't get out there and walk now, huge difference. Huge difference. If you are somebody that's struggling with mental health, tiredness, foggy brain, or just overwhelm, I can't encourage you enough to eat clean, cut out the crap, and go for a walk every day. You don't have to go to the gym. I don't go to the gym. I'd like to. It's down the list in my goals, but that's later. I can't add something else onto my plate at the moment, down the track. At the moment, I can get out there and walk. I can make that happen morning, in between my tasks during the day or in the night. So that is a massive goal for me this year, is to stay on top of that. So I think in another 6 months, I'll be able to sit down and look at my goals a little bit differently. Once I'm settled, once I've moved the shed, once I've moved to a new home, and once all my financials are settled and I can start a clean slate, that is when I will sit down and probably do fresh goals. And at the moment, I'm just focusing on what I can control and goals that are actionable, rather than, monetary or anything. I don't want to stress about money at the moment because I am going to have some monetary issues, but I feel like if I just focus on the tasks that I need to get done to bring in that money, then the money will come. So the first big thing of the year is moving this shed. And oh my goodness, you guys get to be a fly on the wall for that. You get the nice easy job of just watching. Probably shaking your head at me going, oh my goodness, this poor woman. But no, honestly, I think that'll be fun. I'm excited to show you the new warehouse space and tell you more about it, because there's certainly like a whole lot of pros to go with it. A few cons, but I think the pros do outweigh the cons, and I'm excited. I'm excited for the new chapter. So stay with me, guys. There's lots to come. Bye.